The story is coming together and it is making way more sense as to why 50 Cent has been so outspoken about Diddy and how he has all this insight as to what has been going on in Diddy's homes. It turns out that 50's ex and baby mama Daphne Joy was listed as one of the sex workers in P. Diddy's lawsuit.
Hey, yo.
Cited in the lawsuit, it lists Robin Greenhill as the accountant who wires the funds over to the sex workers. And it goes on to say would also be responsible for ensuring payment to sex workers in cash. Young Miami, Jade, and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs' sex workers and receive payments via wire transfer.
See? I told you, Shorty's Ghislaine Maxwell along with Young Miami. Yes, I have a cast on my nose. I broke my nose playing basketball. We're going to be alright over here, alright? Now, she's clearly procuring victims for Puffy. That's what the allegation is. As you can see here, right? She was with Diddy for a while. She's 50's baby mama. So as soon as he saw, first of all, 50 and Diddy, they were friends back in the day.
Oh, they were?
Yes.
Holy shit.
They used to hang out all the time.
I did not know that. Oh
yes.
My gosh.
That's why. So when she's saying, oh, that's where the inside information comes from, that's not true. The inside information comes from 50 being a witness. Like, he knows Puffy.
Yeah.
In the mid-late 2000s, they were hanging out. They were cool. Then, as time progressed, they became not cool no more. And then 50 being 50 is like, man, I don't give a fuck. Are you a billionaire or whatever? You ain't gonna do shit to me. Fuck you talking about.
I hear you, 50.
Facts. And he's always been like that. And Puffy know to just leave that nigga alone.
Yeah.
Like, everybody who's ever beefed with this motherfucker basically lost. So, it's just like...
Literally.
Other than like Jay-Z or like some shit. I mean, Cameron did pretty good, but like 50 has had a more successful career, right? So it's just like he don't want them problems. Obviously, as a billionaire, he could have done something to him if he wanted to, but he probably didn't care that much. It's like whatever. Or he was too busy doing freak-offs and collecting other victims. Nah, it's wild out here.
There have been pictures of Daphne Joy on P. Diddy's property with P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Daphne's name was listed in the Rodney Jones lawsuit, and we haven't really heard a response from her yet. Her and 50 dated back in 2012, had a baby, and then eventually broke up. And Daphne actually accused 50 of being abusive in that relationship, something that 50 has gone on to deny. Most of you already know that 50 has also been sharing content like this to his Instagram, Diddy Do It, saying that he would fund a docuseries to expose Diddy. And in the last 24 hours, 50 also shared this to his Instagram, which is an excerpt from the Rodney Jones lawsuit, saying that Mr. Combs has hidden cameras in every room of his home, has recorded several artists, celebrities, athletes, etc., that these people were recorded without their consent, and that Diddy possesses compromising footage of these people. They refer to Diddy's parties as these freak-off parties, which we've heard this term before in past lawsuits.
So no one knew that he was recording?
It's debatable whether that's true. But let's start from the beginning, right? I'm sure that someone with as much money as Diddy definitely has cameras all over his house.
Yeah.
Hidden or not hidden.
Yeah.
Right? So he's free to record everything that's happening in his house.
Absolutely he is.
Right. So when we're talking about oh, you need to have consent to record them, it's like that's not really true. And people love saying that shit. It's like when you say, oh, it's if you're in a two-party recording state, then what it is that you need that the consent of the other party to record them in order for that recording to be admissible in court. But there's nothing illegal about me secretly recording people on my own property without their consent. I can do that if I want to.
But, okay.
Walmart, all these places, they do that to you too.
Right. But I guess, I mean, does it still fall under the umbrella of saying consent when if you still at least notify them that, listen, no. I have, okay. So
you don't have to tell them. You're on my property. But this doesn't belong to you.
Right. But if they don't personally want to be recorded, they don't have to come to his house, but they at least should be aware that, listen, I do have...
Nah.
No?
No, fuck that. This is my property. I can do whatever I want in here.
Yeah.
I don't have to warn people you're being recorded. No, you're in my fucking house.
But if you don't want to be recorded, then how do you... It's like the whole... I don't know. I feel like...
How do you stay in your house? You can't claim an expectation of privacy while you're in my house. I'm in my house.
Yeah.
Right. That's where that stems from. You claiming an expectation of privacy. That's where that comes from. It's like, you can't claim that while in my house. Ew. I'm in my house.
But the fact that if they're unaware of something and then...
So what?
Ew. That's tricky to me.
No, it's not. Don't come in my house. I will record anything I want in my house.
But how would I know if you have cameras?
I don't give a fuck if you know or not. That's irrelevant.
That's crazy.
That doesn't matter. Like, how could that matter?
That's crazy.
I don't think that's crazy.
No, I agree with you. Like, that this is my house, my property, but at the same
end.
time, I would feel uncomfortable if I'm going to somebody's house and I'm being recorded and I didn't know. Now all of a sudden I'm, wow.
Oh well.
Wow.
There's a
Like, I get
there's a
what you're
disconnect
saying,
between having he'd have the recordings if he wants to. There's nothing anyone can do about that.
Right.
Now,
it's for his protection, his
there-
well-being, and
right.
property. Like,
exactly.
I understand that.
There
yes.
is something you could do about him doing something with those recordings if you are in them.
Okay.
So you post them somewhere, you give them to somebody, you sell them. Maybe you could file a lawsuit. Maybe you could try to do something there, right? Some wrong might be committed, right? Him taking secret recordings of you and trying to do something with them, or, and the admissibility of them will hinge on the laws of the state that you're in, whether it's a two-party or one-party recording state. Because a one-party recording state, you don't need anybody else's consent to record them.
Right.
So a lot of this has to do sometimes with people secretly recording phone calls.
Right. Okay.
So if it's a one-party recording state, I can secretly record the phone call without telling you.
Yeah.
If it's a two-party recording state, I can still record it. It's just that
What you do.
what I do with it might be limited.
Okay.
But if I keep it in my house forever, the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like no one else. That's why I use the expectation of privacy thing, because you can't come into my house and claim an expectation of privacy. It's my house. You left your yard. You're in the public.
No, I get you.
So it'd be. I understand what you're saying, that it'd be a little bit uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's like if you think of the reverse, that wouldn't even make logical sense. Right. That you, a stranger, can tell me in my yard that I must cut off my cameras.
No, you're right.
I must tell you about fucking cameras. That's nonsense.
I get it. No, I understand it.
All right, so
I feel like it's a catch-22.
it's a catch-22 a little bit, but to me, I don't give a fuck about that. You don't want to be
Protect
recorded
yourself.
doing weird shit. Don't do weird shit in other people's houses.
Right.
Right? Stay in your own fucking yard.
Right.
But if you do weird shit outside the public where people can see you, or on somebody else's private property, like them recording you for their own safety is not necessarily something that's crazy.
No, you're right. But yeah, I see nothing wrong with 50 trying to get custody of his child.
Nothing at all.
His child is around somebody that possibly might be endangering him. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing wrong with him gaining custody.
Right. And she popped up. Let's see. What did she say?
Guys, Daphne Joy posted this on her Instagram. It reads, Curtis James Jackson, aka 50 Cent. Everything is a joke to you until our safety is compromised, which is happening now. You are wreaking real havoc, frenzy, and chaos on people's lives. How would you feel if Sire was the one in handcuffs for nothing?
He's not, because he's a fucking baby.
Right.
And two, the people who were handcuffed during the searches, they weren't handcuffed. Number one, they're adults. Number two, they weren't handcuffed for nothing. Okay? When the police search your house on some shit, sometimes they'll handcuff you. Sometimes they'll handcuff or zip tie everyone who's on the property and make you all sit down while they search the place. And then when they're done, they'll let you go. You're not being charged with anything. You're being temporarily detained for the safety of the police while they do their fucking investigation. And they're totally allowed to do that. Like, that's why when I heard people reporting on this, I'm like, you motherfuckers don't know anything. Because they're out here talking about, they look how they handcuff everybody on the property. Who gives a fuck? Because they let them go right after. Like, I'm not charged with nothing. It's not even my house. It's Diddy's house. Talk to him. Don't talk to me.
We moved to New York to give you the opportunity to be a father to your son, and you saw him 10 times out of the 2 years that you lived 1 mile away from us.
That
I'm
sounds
tired
like a
of
lie.
upholding and protecting your image to our son that you have never even earned.
That sounds like a lie because
That's a lie. He posts that baby all the time. I bet if I go through his fucking IG, I'll see more than 10 times with
we
him that
both
baby.
follow him, and the amount of times that he's constantly with Zaire, he like shuts shit down just to spend time with him. And not only that, his career has been booming for like recently, especially with the
power shows and everything. Yeah.
Like, he's busy. He's been traveling. He's been doing things. He's been working. So don't sit here and say that he hasn't seen his son, because I know for a fact he's been there for his son.
This bitch is lying, bro. And why is it that as soon as this happens, now he's a bad father?
Right.
Fuck out of here. You're just looking for sympathy, you fucking thought?
Because I do recall her at one point saying that he is a great father.
Right, and now all of a sudden he a piece of shit, right? Okay.
Let's put the real focus on
you're
your
in a hot
true evil
seat.
actions of R-wording me and physically abusing me. You are no longer my oppressor. My God will handle you from this point on.
This is what I'm talking about. As soon as women do something wrong, or get accused of doing something wrong, this bitch has been named in a lawsuit with Diddy as a fucking co-conspirator. She's literally being alleged to be the Ghislaine Maxwell of Diddy's operation. Her and Young Miami were procuring fucking victims for Puffy to violate. And you're going to get on here because you get accused of that. And your baby daddy's like, oh, word, give me my son. He shouldn't be around none of that.
I don't recall.
And then you're going to say that he touched you. That's what women always go to. They say, well, I got accused of heinous crimes. So what I'm going to do is pretend to be a victim. I'm going to create a victim scenario so that people can focus on that instead of the fact that I'm a fucking perpetrator. This is insane.
Because not once did I recall her opening her mouth talking about him R-ing her in any shape or form. And again, like I said, just not too long ago, she used to boast. I think I do recall her boasting about how he's a good father. So which one is it? Is he a bad man that R-rated you, and is a bad father, or is he a good person? Like, speak the truth. Y'all, all these women talking about speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth.
It's a cabal of liars. She's fucking lying like the rest of them. Stop it.
You have permanently damaged the last hope I had for you to be a father to preserve our family.
Pause it. Because if you don't speak your truth, it gets messy.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you don't tell the truth, it gets messy. That's what it is. Don't speak your truth, because that'd be lies.
Yeah, that's true. Tell the truth, period. Because otherwise, it gets you nowhere, and it gets messy, and you have to work so hard to actually prove yourself and what you're saying, because it's already, you got to prove yourself once you say it. But then if you don't tell the truth from the beginning, all this flip-flopping and back and forth, now you made yourself a mess out of this, and now you got to lay in it, and now you got to deal with it, and you're going back and forth, and people don't believe you. Mm-hmm. It's not worth it at the end. It is not worth it. I don't understand how any of this can be worth any of it if in the end you get caught and nobody believes you. Now you got to prove it. Like, do it from the beginning. Do it from the jump.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't get that.
Somebody does
it's
something.
It's not worth it.
Somebody who does something to you, tell the police. Like, we're not going to do this, brother. We're not going to do this. But this is wild, son. Because to me, I'm just like, you are accusing this man of something that I'm pretty sure he did not do. Just to get yourself out of trouble. Nasty work.
And get the light off of you for whatever the situation is that you're dealing with.
Right. This bitch named in a goddamn... Now, let's hit one more thing. I feel like Lil Rod is lying in his lawsuit. Right? A lot of that shit is a little suspect the way it was told in the lawsuit. So keep that in mind. That Lil Rod probably has the least credible lawsuit against Diddy so far.
Yeah. How you doing, baby? She said, I love you. I said, I love you back. And you. I got off. And you. Even if you're doing sex work.
See,
he just did that. He's trolling her right now. After Daphne trolling her right now.
The only reason why a lot of people, mainly women, have an issue with 50 is because the way he trolls on some petty shit, like any other petty person would be. But
I see nothing wrong.
Like my husband said, so far everything that 50 Cent has ever did or said, he has not lied.
Right. If you know a time where he got caught blatantly lying about someone and making up something, please let me know. Because otherwise, it sound like he know everything Diddy was up to. I can't wait for the documentary. Just like how we seen the Nickelodeon shit. 2 years from now, we gonna get the Diddy shit. I can't fucking wait.
I'm scared.
Fuck out of here.
I'm scared.